All right, your horses are approaching the starting gate, starting from the inside rail and going out. It's number 1, Mrs. Little Bozo. Number 2, Palmer's Puddin'. Number 3, Irish Eve. Number 4, Raise at a Million. And number 5 is Sporty Miss B. Horses are all lined up. Swing open that gate and let him accelerate. Here we go. We are pacing. Taking the early lead, Mrs. Little Bozo on the inside holds the position as they go into turn number 1. Palmer's Puddin' stays right behind in number 2. The horses are lined up. Number 3, Irish Eve, follows in behind, followed by Raisin' a Million and Sporty Miss B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at them fly. It's still Mrs. Little Bozo as we head towards our first quarter coming up. Palmer's Puddin', Irish Eve, Raisin' a Million and Sporty Miss B. Your first quarter time, 33-3, 33-3. Heading into turn 2, Mrs. Little Bozo is continuing to lead the pack. Palmer's Pudding, Irish Eve, Raisin' a Million, and Sporty Miss B. The horses in order just the way they came out of the gate. Mrs. Little Bozo into turn number 2 now. Continues to set the pace with Palmer's Pudding in behind. Irish Eve, Raisin' a Million, and Sporty Miss B. Horses continue to run in order as they size each other up and decide who's going to make the big first move. Well, here it comes now, approaching from the outside. It is Irish Eve making the move and challenging for the lead, while Mrs. Little Bozo tries to hold off her presence. Mrs. Little Bozo still holding on, but on the outside, 2 across between Palmer's Puddin' and Irish Eve. It's Irish Eve now taking over in second place. Mrs. Little Bozo still holding on to first. Outside right, though, it's Irish Eve trying to make the big move. Coming up from the outside as well now, it is Raisin' a Million. Raisin' a Million, 2 across with Palmer's Puddin' as they both challenge for the lead. It is now Mrs. Little Bozo followed by Raisin' a Million. Palmer's Pudding, Irish Eve, and Sporty Miss B. Mrs. Little Bozo is continuing to lead, followed by a Raisin' a Million. Then we've got Palmer's Puddin', Irish Eve, and Sporty Miss B. Coming into the final turn, Mrs. Little Bozo trying to hold off Raisin' a Million. Raisin' a Million trying to challenge, but Mrs. Little Bozo is starting to lengthen. It's going to be, there's a break. Raisin' a Million breaks, and we've got Mrs. Little Bozo taking the first. Palmer's Pudding, your winner in a time of 2:08.4, Mrs. Little Bozo. Race number 2 is official, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner by a couple of lengths of Mrs. Little Bozo, driven by and trained by Mark Fillion, now heading to the winner's circle. Mrs. Little Bozo, a 4-year-old bay gelding by Andrioli Hanover, Miss Namaris and Matt Namaris Band, owned by Mark Fillion. We'll have your payouts coming up momentarily.